Hi, this is Debbie. Welcome back to Cheyenne Life. And this is very early in the morning. And good morning, wherever you are. And isn't this just a beautiful sight to wake up to and come out to in the morning? Just all these beautiful lilies. These are the ones that are just a different color. They're purple and orange. And we have some beautiful, beautiful red ones over here. Just full of bloom. And surprise, we have some beautiful yellow ones. Aren't these just gorgeous? And now we have the red ones over here in this patch also taking off. Gotta come in here and pull out some more of the grass that just keeps coming in. And it seems like we ended up with a lot of the orange and purple ones this season because we have more over here that have bloomed. Yesterday I did an entire video, a tutorial, and none of the sound came out on it. And it was a beautiful video, absolutely wonderful, and I have no idea why there was no sound whatsoever. I used a selfie stick yesterday. I had picked up one a couple days ago, and I wanted to try it out. And I think that might be the reason. It has this little hookup for pushing the button on your camera. Well, it plugs into the earphone jack on my phone. That's the only hole that there is. And I think that it was mistaking it for actually being headphones. So, darn thing. So I did this whole video with a tutorial about thinning out kale and thinning out my kohlrabi and what I did with the greens afterwards, because I don't let them go to waste. I actually cook them up. So I had done that, thinned them out. So here you go. This is how they look after they've been thinned out, and I just pull all of the weeds, as many of the weeds as I can when I do thin them out. But I had done this whole tutorial, shown you how I was pulling the weeds and pulling the actual kohlrabi to thin them out, and had harvested my mustard greens, which I'm going to replant right now. So I'd done all that, and unfortunately the video did not have any sound whatsoever. Wonderful video, just no sound. So I deleted it, and we're starting it again, but just this time I'm not doing the tutorial because I've already done it. So I did the kohlrabi, I did the kale, I did the mustard, I thinned out my carrots. So now my carrots are a couple of inches apart, so that way they get some nice big carrot tubers on them. And then I also thinned out my rutabaga, and you can see the rutabaga actually loved that, so they must have doubled in size overnight. Anyway, here's a nice shot of the garden early in the morning with the sun washing over, and that sun moves around as the sun moves in the sky, or as the earth tilts, moves, stuff. So it moves around and covers this part later on in the day, usually about 11 o'clock. It'll start creeping over here onto this side in the morning, and then all of this gets enough sun that it needs. So everything looking great. I had shown some of my radishes that I'm going to be harvesting very shortly. You can see some beautiful, beautiful radishes in there. These are the French breakfast radishes. Just beautiful radishes. And then I've got some younger plants that are coming on, because I did plant some more in here because they had came up so spotty. And then I have planted the cherry giant and the crimson giant, and you can see all of those came up, and we'll be enjoying those in about 21 days. So just looking absolutely gorgeous out here. And if anyone knows what this little guy is, I've been seeing a few of these in my garden, and I'm not real sure if they are dangerous or anything. I haven't seen any damage or anything from that particular thing. But I will show you the damage that is done by the tomato flea beetle. And I caught this one and killed it yesterday But that is what the tomato flea beetle will do, and this is on a sunflower. They will attack just about any leaves. It's not just the tomatoes. They definitely get on green beans. I've had them completely destroy a green bean crop one time, so definitely look at that. Looks like I had another one on this leaf, and it might have been the same one. I'm not seeing any little beetle here, so I'm not seeing anything on the underside. And this leaf is greening back up after it had the damage, so maybe it'll come back out. But anyway, if you see the tomato flea beetle, do so early in the morning and just kill it. I try to not use any pesticides whatsoever on my garden. Now, if it comes down to my garden gets completely attacked and I'm starting to see a huge amount of damage, I am not against that. I will not use a pesticide because I want my food. I don't want to have to deal with pests in my garden. But I've never used any pesticides on my garden. I'm just pretty vigilant about getting out here and seeing any damage. Now, if you're seeing any holes in the leaves in the cauliflower, I have checked all of the cauliflower. I thought at first that the cabbage moths had laid some caterpillars in here, but I have not seen any whatsoever. So I think this happened with the last hailstorm that we had. We had a brief hailstorm a couple of weeks ago that had about pea-sized hail with it, but I think it did actually tear this leaf up on this cauliflower because I've not seen anything on it, and it stayed exactly the same. So I think that was the hailstorm, and a few other holes in here. But I have noticed a little bit of damage on some of my squash plants on the other side of the garden that is looking like a leaf miner. So I'm keeping an eye on that because those are pretty easily killed as well if you just keep on top of it. And I've only noticed a little bit of damage, not very much. Otherwise, I think any damage that's on the squash plant's leaves is from the sun. There is an intense sun in Wyoming. And that is because I guess that we're higher up. We're a little over 6,000 feet elevation. And the sun just hits them more intensely, even if it's a little bit cooler. So I think that might be part of the issue with that. But otherwise, everything is growing just absolutely fantastic. And since this is morning, you can see all of the beauty of the garden with the tomatoes filling out. And I've got gobs of tomatoes that are hanging on these tomato plants right now. And of course, they're going to have more come on. And those are the super sauce tomatoes. Then I have a couple of tomatillos in here, 3 actually. And I have black creme tomatoes. I have 4 black creme tomatoes in here. And then my 2 extra super sauce tomatoes on the outside. I've got 3 sun sugar tomatoes that I just planted from a second start because those were killed out in the hailstorm. I've got cherry tomatoes and pear tomatoes and tiny Tim tomatoes, Tommy toes. I've got all kinds of tomatoes going on. I have 35 plants in total. I have German Queen. I have 3 plants of the German Queen. I've got a Black Prince, a Cherokee Purple, 4 giant ox hearts. And as you can see, I am beginning to just get loads of tomatoes hanging on the vines. Acorn squash are doing amazing. So are the red curry. And it amazes me. I'm doing these videos of garden tours, but it just does not do it justice because there's just so much that's going on right now. You see the beans are really climbing the trellis now. These trellises are 72 inches tall, and they're about halfway up. So just wonderful amount of growth on everything all of a sudden. My pepper plants are really, really taking off where I had removed the dill from around them. So hopefully they'll have something on them. The German Queens really enjoyed that I removed the dill as well. They have already doubled in size. Especially this one because it was really getting shaded out. Just a beautiful amount of growth. All of this green. And There's another shot of the clematis. I know I got it really late in the evening yesterday when I posted a video, but just look at that in the morning light. Isn't that gorgeous? And then all of my cucumbers are just really taking off now. Just amazing. And I can't say enough about my flowers either. I don't grow a whole lot of flowers because I focus more on growing food. But I did pick up some pots of petunias and things. And I keep deadheading them, so they have just really filled out. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And this cocozelle I had stuck over here because I didn't have room in the garden. And it's really beginning to take off now. It's blooming and setting some cocozelle squash on it. And another shot of that peach long stem rose. Isn't that gorgeous? It's fully bloomed out now. And let me show you what my dogs do when I come out here in the morning and I'm getting ready to spray water on my plants and stuff. Look at everything looking so wonderful. This is my 11-year-old toy poodle, Thumbelina. And you saw her cock her head. That's Thumbelina. And she is just over here parked in the Virginia creeper vine against the fence as I'm doing my stuff and squinting her eyes because she's in the sun. So everything is just looking amazing out here. And the red curry squash has runners on it, and I do have some red curry squash, very, very tiny ones on the vine. Looking gorgeous. Putting on about a foot of growth a day now. And then I don't show this little patch much, but I had stuck some extra pepper plants that I'd had from the seed that I started over here. So I've got 5 plants over here, and these are the Kaleidoscope blend. Because I just had a whole bunch of colors, so I had some actual Kaleidoscope seeds, so I'm just calling them Kaleidoscope as well. They're just different colors of bell peppers. I had some oranges and reds and greens and yellows, and really the green peppers, bell peppers, if you leave them on the vine, they will turn red. So those are pretty much all red. They just turn red later. And I stuck an extra, I believe this is an extra red curry over here, and it's setting runners now, as you can see. I'm getting ready to take off. And I've got 3 bunches of sunflowers over here, different colors. I've got the Chianti red, I think it is. I've got some shorter versions of some yellow, and then some autumn beauties over here. So those should be like oranges and reds and all kinds of colors. Looking forward to that. And my shallots are just really exploding in growth. All of my potatoes have lost their flowers now, and just waiting for the vines to die down so I can start harvesting those. These are the Kennebec and the Idahos, and the ones in the back always get the tallest and biggest because they're shaded. That's not the intention, but that happens. So you can see just how gorgeous those vines are. And then I planted some more carrots in this middle section and some lima beans, as well as another row of Yukon Gold. Those are an organic bag of potatoes that I picked up. They have not came up as yet because they've only been planted a few days. So we're just waiting for those to come up. We got some dill in this little patch right here that has not came up yet. And then I have radishes. These are more radishes. And I've figured out that these are not the French breakfast. There was some French breakfast in here. I had a few seeds left, so I just tossed them in. But I also have some early scarlet globe in here is what I planted. So early scarlet globe all along this curve. And then I've got some French breakfast that's in and amongst the watermelon in here, so they're probably kind of getting shaded out, but they had already formed heads. So yeah, I see the heads down in there, so they should be fine. And we went in and cleaned out all of the, what I found out was chamomile that came up in the watermelon, and we moved those out yesterday. Everything just looking absolutely amazing. And I'll show you the damage that was done on the squash plants, so you can kind of see it there. So I think that is sun damage, not any type of pest. So anyway, but there you can see a little bit of the leaf miner in that leaf. So just a little bit of a morning tour, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just some brighter sunlight for you to be able to see the plants. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will see you in the next one.